Hello again, folks. My bad cold persists, so I continue to remain off camera. Well, that's me, pre-cold. Go Leafs. Anyway, so this month and last month, I received a few things by mail, some of them my own purchases, some of them items sent in from viewers. My computer's about to explode now with all the raw unboxing footage that I have, most of which I shot last month. And I'm not complaining, by the way. It's a nice problem to have. I'll space those unboxings out over the next couple months so that my channel doesn't become, video after video of me slicing boxes open each week. Now, I ordered this package from a guy in Lisbon, Portugal, who'd listed a couple of items that I wanted for surprisingly low prices, and he had a few other things I didn't really need, but I thought I'd throw in the cart anyway, get the most out of the shipping costs. I still think I got some bargains here, but just as I saw when I unboxed them, you'll see why some of these records were priced lower than one might expect them to be. Except for two records, they all need a really good cleaning, and some have scratches on them that I don't think any amount of cleaning will help. And there's one item in this package that I think will need some, I'm just going to recycle it. I'm not even going to try and deodorize it. One last thing before we get to the records here. When in the video's title I say rare copies, I don't mean like Sotheby's auction house level rare. I mean like obscure or difficult to find, at least for an average guy in Ontario, Canada, that kind of rare. Okay, so first LP is the youngest of the bunch, and this is still kind of a mystery copy to me in a way. I think it's either a 2006 copy or a 2008 copy of The Captain and the Kid. Either way, pressed in the EU, and is definitely not the reissue from just a few years ago. And what I'm pointing at there, and you'll see it close up in just a second, is this copy's catalog number, and when I compare that to my other OG copy, the one Discogs claims is a 2006 EU pressing, the number is different, as are the barcode numbers. Discogs includes a listing for the copy I just received from Lisbon, but strangely it claims that that copy is also a 2006 EU copy, so I'm kind of confused. I know that in 2008 there was an EU Back to Black repress of this. I don't recall a Back to Black sticker showing on the cover of my first copy when I bought it, but then again that was a very long time ago. For now, I'm thinking that one of these must be a true 2006 copy and the other is probably a 2008 Back to Black repress. And as you just saw, this copy has both its booklets in good condition, which is nice to see. Now let's have a look at the inner. I notice right away that unlike my other early copy, this one's inner sleeve is not stiff cardstock but rather coated paper, so that's another clue, I think. The LP itself is in good shape, has just a few visible scratches on it, but it needs a really good cleaning. Whoever owned this before me never cleaned it. It's very dusty, very smudged. I was looking at the matrix just there. My other early copy, which previous research revealed, was pressed in the Netherlands by a manufacturer called Record Industry. Its matrix is tool-stamped, whereas this newly arrived copy's matrix is hand-etched, and the numbers are totally different. Now, I know you can't really see these even in the close-up, but the pressing rings, though similar, are not exactly the same size. The copy pressed by Record Industry Netherlands has a ring about 2 inches in diameter, and it's a grooved ring, while the other copy's ring is just a little larger in diameter and is a raised ridge or seam-style ring. So, another major difference worth noting. I wear track pants sometimes. You weren't supposed to see that. But what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing my reissue copy from 2022, or whenever it came out. And its catalog number is different from the other two. And if I recall, this reissue copy was pressed by Optimal in Germany, which is, that's Optimal. So I don't know. What do you think? Does anyone out there specialize in vintage vinyl copies of The Captain and the Kid? It's a wonderful album. If you haven't heard it yet, it's a really nice one to have on vinyl too if you can find it, and I believe the reissue is still available in all the usual places. And here I thought I'd get my 3 vinyl copies of the album together for a quick family portrait. Very nice. Oh, and another thing, you'll notice that the 2 early copies have slightly thicker spines than the reissue. That's nothing terribly important, but it does help me identify the reissue when I'm looking on the shelf. Okay, next is The One. I'm just noticing here that the seller has jammed this and another record into the same outer sleeve. So I'll just remove both those from the sleeve. Oh, another copy of Captain Fantastic. I don't think I have enough of those. Okay, so you may recall from my earlier videos that I have original vinyl copies of the one from the UK and Spain, plus a legal pirate vinyl copy from Russia. I also have the 2022 double vinyl reissue as well. Being a single LP, this one's definitely a 1992 copy, but it's from Portugal. On Rocket, but from Portugal. And while the sleeve's in decent shape, although you can't quite see it on camera here, the LP's condition is not really great. It's covered in these sort of strange surface marks, and I can't tell if the marks are like abrasions from the record being, crushed in some way, or if they're mold spots. And I don't know which would be preferable at this point. At least with inactive mold spots, a good deep clean would probably remove them. The seller listed this copy as VG+. I don't mean to be a negativity spreader, guys, but Discogs grading is just a real joke. Okay, Captain Fantastic. Can anyone tell which issue this is? Note the glossy sleeve. It's not a UK DJM copy, but it is a DJM copy, and boom! If the catalog number's not familiar to you, then the print should make it obvious this is a German copy, specifically the original 1975 German DJM pressing, and even the gatefold panels have that gloss or sheen to them. I did notice a musty odor, either coming from the sleeve or coming from something inside the sleeve, so I'm going to investigate. This copy has a poster, looks to be about the same size as the UK DJM posters, which were a bit larger than the posters inside the MCA copies. I'm just figuring out that bad smell is coming from the lyrics booklet, and as I open it to have a closer look, listen to what I hear. Good Lord. It sounds and smells like someone dropped this in a toilet. Seriously, it's not poop or anything like that. I think it's another possible inactive mold issue. I'll have to send that booklet to the recycle bin. Thankfully, the scrapbook is in really good shape. No smell, no sticky pages, and no spotting. A nice copy, and it looks like both booklets were printed in Germany. They weren't imported from the UK or anywhere else. I noticed that in all the original Canadian MCA copies I have of the album, all the booklets were USA printed, so MCA Canada must have trucked boxes of booklets and posters up from the States for its copies. Okay, let's take a look at the record. Custom labels, just like most other territories, and that pressing ring, which is about 1 inch in diameter, means this was pressed at what was then Phonodisc in Hanover, later Polygram or PRS Hanover, and there's the 320 marker in the runout. So this wasn't just pressed at the Hanover plant, that means it was also electroplated there. So I'll put everything back in the sleeve, except for that stinky lyrics booklet. It can go over there. Next up is another copy of the 1970 self-titled or Black album. I thought that maybe the cover of this copy had been sunned, that it had some serious fading issues, but when I saw that the back panel had the same hazy kind of appearance to it, I realized that it's just probably a printing defect, nothing serious. And what edition of the self-titled album might this be? Phonogram on the back. Yes, it's another one of those 1987 DJM reissues by Phonogram, specifically the series that was pressed in Holland with the charcoal black LP labels that I love so much. To my immense surprise, this LP looked like it had just come from the factory. It's in pristine condition, and just to let you know, of the 5 records I unboxed in this episode, I have yet to clean and play test the first 3, but as this and the next record were in such amazing shape, I've play tested them, and I think that copy of the Black album sounds really good. Okay, now talk about saving the best for last. This is yet another copy of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, one with a very glossy sleeve, and it too is a 1987 DJM reissue by Phonogram, pressed in Holland. Note how, like the UK DJM Wedge copies from the mid-1980s, this Dutch issue sleeve has been downgraded from the original trifold design to a gatefold. And here's LP1, housed in a generic factory inner. And like the copy of the self-titled album, you can eat off this copy of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Not one smudge or a speck of dust that I could see. This arrived in virtually unplayed condition. So, in a way, this seller kind of made up for the less than VG Plus condition of some of the other records here. You're probably wondering, what about sound quality? Well, guys, I don't want to overstate anything, but the sound quality of this copy blew me away. I really, really, really like the sound of this copy. I would say it's easily one of the best sounding vinyl copies now in my collection, which is saying a lot, because as of today, I have 23 different vinyl copies of Goodbye Elbrick Road. 23. And that spine label. Never underestimate the importance of spine label style. And while this one may be generic, I think that looks sharp. Very sexy looking spine label, that is. Okay, so I've done this before. I'll do it again. A quick rundown of the 5 records I got in this package from Lisbon. Goodbye Elbrick Road, a 1987 DJM reissue by Dutch Phonogram. Self-titled Black Album, another 87 DJM reissue by Dutch Phonogram. Captain Fantastic, 1975 German DJM first press by German Phonodisc. The One, 1992 Portuguese Rocket pressed by... Actually, I never bothered to check who pressed it. And a mystery copy of The Captain the Kid pressed in the EU sometime around 2006 or 2008. I'll let you know if I ever solve that mystery. And as usual, thanks so much for watching. I hope to be back next week on camera and in better health and with more substantial content. Until then, take care, and because I know you like this video, remember to click like and subscribe. You don't want to miss another episode of Collecting Elton. No. And thank you.